Our story started at the mansion of an Aldori Swordlord. Drawn by the promise of a most dangerous task and a commensurately huge reward, heroes of all stripes gathered here.
Where are they? This is taking forever! They didn't even say what this was for, just that the Aldori were looking for heroes. Who are the Aldori anyway? Rich folk?
If you can't be patient, no one's keeping you here. Just go back to your mountains or whatever hole you crawled out of. The Aldori Swordlords run the premier school for the dueling arts. They're also the richest and most influential group in this part of Brevoy. Take that tone with them, and they'll teach you some manners pretty quickly.
All right, you purple toad, just shut your trap. And if you can't, I'll help you.
Hush! Quiet! They're coming.
Greetings, everyone. I am Swordlord Jamandi Aldori, and this is Lord Mayor Yosef Selimius of Restov. Welcome to my mansion.
We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for responding to our call. You may be few, but that's unavoidable. We need only the best of the best for this task. And I see true heroes before me, strong and fearless, exactly what Restov needs.
Next to her, her leopard Bracken gives a low and self-satisfied growl, thinking himself the strongest and fearless of any creature in this room.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Now, to the point. South of here, just beyond Brevoy's border, lies a region known as the Stolen Lands. This is disputed territory, and while it's long been claimed by nearby states, it's never been truly taken. I won't bore you with the legal technicalities. Suffice to say that anyone with enough courage and power to seize the stolen lands and name themselves Baron or Baroness, claiming dominion, well, none of the neighboring states would be able to challenge it. Of course, Restov would be first to recognize the legitimacy of this new state, as well as the noble title of its founder. Unfortunately, one serious obstacle stands between you and this title. A gang of bandits holds sway in the Stolen Lands. Their chief, who they call the Stag Lord, considers himself the rightful owner of these lands, and no one has yet been able to challenge his power. Bring me his head, and you'll be able to return to the Stolen Lands as their legal ruler. Any questions?
While there is a buzz across the mercenaries in this room, Zara leans back against a column, 1 foot up against the column, her leopard purring contentedly by her side. She says to Bracken, "I'm not here for any of that. I don't care about being a lord or the rightful owner of this. I just want to know why the Stolen Lands have begun to die, why nature begins to recede here. I've heard tale of a fog that covers the land. And if that's what I must do to find out what this fog is about, if I must join up with a group of ruffians, so be it." And you can practically hear the low prowl and growl in Bracken's throat as he gives a little leopard laugh. One of the mercenaries speaks up. "There's a whole team of us," he says. "Who exactly will receive the Baron's title?"
I will, of course. I'm the leader of this team, after all. Don't worry, though. I'll make it worth your while to help me.
Zara immediately takes a like to the tiny, pompous little man.
We haven't yet begun, and you already speak of divvying rewards. What makes you think we'll even succeed? There's little point arguing over who gains the title when we'll most likely lose our lives there.
It flashes through Zara's mind that this man is too eager to meet his maker. He seems strong enough and stout enough. Why is he so afraid of death?
If I may please answer the question. We believe you're all equally deserving of a noble title. Over the course of your expedition, it will be up to you as a team to decide which of you is best suited to rule.
That same mouthy mercenary speaks up. But why not just recognize the Stag Lord as Baron?
That's a good point. As I see it, this Stag Lord already holds power over the region with confidence. Many noble bloodlines were started by bandits who just got lucky, weren't they?
And Zara can't help but overhear the first mercenary, the one who continues to ask questions, mutter under his breath that at least it means steady work for him, working for somebody called the Stag Lord, rather than hunting around for the possibility of a barony as given by one of these sword lords or whatever they call themselves.
Perhaps because we do have standards to maintain. This room has seen many celebrations of adventurers, and even those who just got lucky. But giving a noble title to a bandit lord? That's one thing that's never happened here, and it won't while I still breathe.
Zara thinks, well, at least someone here has some sense. Another mercenary, a young female, very eager, says, "So, let me get this straight. You're helping us found a barony? What do you gain from such generosity, huh?
Don't ask stupid questions. Why should you even care? What they have to gain and why, that's for Lady Aldori and I to discuss. It's none of your concern. Your only concern is to swing your sword around, or whatever it is you do."
Says the lady mercenary.
Of course, we stand to benefit from this enterprise. But if you're concerned that we intend to rule your country from afar, using you as a front, well, please know that these concerns are unfounded. Let's just say that we have a strong interest in the region's stability. We have need of a ruling power we can negotiate with, not bandit gangs and monster hordes.
What is that smell in the air? Is it the smell of unspoken words and political intrigue?
Zara's head whips around and just notices behind her something that doesn't happen very often, but someone she hadn't noticed approaching. It's a tiefling. Zara is surprised, having rarely seen tieflings in her time in Galarian. Finally, a young dwarf speaks up and says, "But what about rewards? What rewards can we expect exactly? Yeah? And a bunch of mercenaries and other dwarves near him go, "Yeah, rewards!
And what reward would you seek beyond a noble title and your own lands?
Well, some gold, too. We need gold to run our new barony or whatever it would be."
We'll absorb the costs of preparing and equipping your expeditions. Once you return victorious, Restov will also allocate you a significant sum to provide financial support for you to establish your country. Essentially, we'll help you build your capital. I hope such a reward is satisfactory.
Yeah, significant sum. You heard that? Significant sum. Yeah. All right, that works for us, yeah. The dwarves laugh and pat each other on the back.
Words. Significant, financial. I can't fill my belly with pretty words.
Zara's eyes, one eyebrow raises as she looks over at Amiri. She's practically, Zara thinks, overflowing with anger. If it could be channeled, she would be a good companion. If not, well, Bracken would make short work of her.
Of course. There will also be an official banquet held in your honor. All of Rostov's high society will gather to celebrate your feat.
Now you're talking.
Finally, the dwarves say, "It's clear. We understand. Yeah. Now, when do we get to it?
Excellent. You venture forth tomorrow. For now, you can take some time to get to know one another better. Or you can head straight to your guest rooms to get some rest. You'll find we've already prepared supplies for you there. And thank you again for agreeing to take part in this expedition. I wish you luck.
Zara stands up, stretches, and watches as everyone begins to disperse. Some people talking.
Thank you again, with all my heart, for replying to this call. The flare in your eyes reveals your courage, the unshakable will that distinguishes true heroes. I look at you, O champions of Restov, and doubt not for a second that you'll be victorious. So venture forth toward your feet. Go, and return in triumph.
If I can find out what is causing this unnatural fog that hurts the earth itself, Galarian itself, then I will consider I can return to the Coven in triumph. Thanks, Zara.
Hi, my name's Lindsay. I'm a bard, though this is my first real adventure. So, shall we go teach this stag lord a lesson?
Zara walks across the room just to get an idea of what a sword lord's palace is really like, and is interrupted by a small, I think Lindsay's a gnome, but a small humanoid girl with bright blonde hair. She smiles and says, I'm Zara Faye, sister. It's pleasing to meet you.
Likewise. Actually, I also wanted to ask you something.
Oh?
How do you feel about this Tartuccio fellow? I think he's pretty obnoxious personally. He appointed himself head of the team, and he's just after the Baron's crown, or whatever it is barons wear. Doesn't matter. I don't like him. I think you should be team leader. When I first saw you, I couldn't help but think, now here's a real hero. Someone who'll be praised in poems and songs. This is the person I'll write my book about.
Zara's face crinkles into a mask of confusion. She has to keep herself from laughing. That's very... And she can't even come up with words to describe, and then she says, I'm sorry, but that's nonsense. I'm no hero.
It's not nonsense. Let me explain. You know what the trouble with most heroes' biographies is? They're always written years later, based on the tales of, best case, people who saw things from the outside. Worst case, someone heard about it from their brother, who heard it from their friend, who heard it from their cousin, and so on, adding a new batch of lies each time. Every time I read about a heroic journey, I think to myself, why didn't they just bring a bard with them to write it all down properly?
Perhaps because they did not want their business spread all over the land.
And then I thought, I could be that bard. I just needed to find a suitable hero and volunteer to follow along on their glorious adventure. A great plan, huh? And here we are, with a heroic journey lying before us. Who's going to be the hero? Some dwarf who keeps muttering about how we'll all die? Or maybe that horrific scythe lady? Or, God forbid, Tartuccio? No way.
In order to kind of take the focus off of herself, which makes Zara uncomfortable, she notices the barbarian nearby, the one with the growling stomach. What about her? She looks pretty heroic. I think I heard her name was, Amiri? Amiri, yes.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic. You can tell she could tear a bear's head off with her bare hands, but she kind of scares me just a little. But I mean, her sword's twice as big as I am. She could cut me down without even noticing. Just think on it a bit, all right? I'm sure you'll agree.
Think on what? That she scares you? Or whether I'm a hero? I can tell you that neither one of those thoughts are worth me bothering over.
All right. I'm going to my room to write about tonight. See you in the morning.
Good night, Lindsay. Sleep well. So, that is our first step on the road to glory. Let's explore our world a little bit.
We should move.
We should. A large map of Brevoy and its surroundings, dotted with numerous cryptic marks and notes. We can hit the tab key to see the names of people around us. For example, Jamandi Aldori. Get some rest before the road. You've a difficult journey before you. And Keston Garess. As Zara walks by, she hears him say, "I'll double the guard for the night, just as a precaution," and wonders if they are particularly worried. Come on, Brack. Let's go to bed. I'm tired. Suddenly, as she walks towards the door, she sees that the tiefling, tail and all. As Zara passes by, she says, "Northern architecture is beautiful, but very heavy. In my native land of Kadira, palaces are all furnished quite differently." And then she carries on whistling to herself.
Help! Help!
Lindsay! Lindsay? Zara is immediately awake, always a very light sleeper. Bracken jumps down from where he was curled up at her feet on the bed and walks over to Lindsay, sniffing her curiously. What's going on?
The mansion's under attack. We need to help.
Zara suddenly remembers Keston Garess's words of extra guard. So this is what he was talking about.
Some villains broke in and started killing everyone. I barely made it. Hurry, we have to help the guards fight off the attackers or we'll all be cut down one by one.
I will be right there. Let me gather my bow. A scream echoes from the hallway. Lindsay runs out, readying her bow as well. And before Zara can take a final move, a final step,
Charge!
another shout, this time of defiance and anger, is heard. And Bracken is immediately ready to charge. Down goes the assassin, and Bracken tripping up his feet, and the attack of opportunity. Well, that did it. As Zara runs into the room, she notices an elf dead on the bed. It's obvious that nothing can be done for him. Lindsay calls out, "Zara, the assassins are already here. Follow me quickly." Of course, of course. I'm right behind you."
You're just in time. A bit longer and I'd have been... Whew, I don't even want to think about it. Can you imagine what a terrible loss this would have been? But it's all right now. I'm safe, sound, and unscathed, ready to lead you to victory. Lady Jamandi's holding the line in the banquet hall. You know, the one where she had us gathered before. We need to make our way to her. And along the way, we'll try to save some of these dummies who are supposed to accompany us to the stolen lands. Speaking of dummies, take this ring. Quiet now, so that little fool doesn't hear us. She might try to steal it herself. It's magical. It'll protect you. You'll need it while you work to defend me.
Zara looks down at the shiny gold ring in her hand. She's, not sure she wants any protection from this creature. So she slips it into her pocket. That adds Tartuccio to our party. And Zara holds up a hand. I hear noises. Bracken sneaks around the corner and spots an enemy. being completely fearless, he charges into battle.
We cannot be defeated!
Leave this one to me.
Ho-ho! Crits! Ouch. Okay, that hurt. Critical hit. That's what that means with all that awful blood and guts, which I don't like. Okay, and the party has succeeded yet again. Looking around the library, Zara says we must hurry. I'm sure that there are more all throughout the castle, breathing somewhat heavily from the exertion of battle. Zara is actually somewhat saddened to see the dwarf and the mercenary, both who had lots to say earlier today in the castle, in the Swordlord's castle, both lying dead on the floor. Never going to be able to spend gold again. Bracken sees a tiny little kitty shaking with fear and purrs at her. You'll be okay, little one. Brr, brr. You'll be okay. The kitty mews and looks gratefully at Bracken, and then watches as the party leaves. Zara smiles at her friend. He says, what can I say? I have a soft spot for the little ones, the little kids. Now, Bracken can speak with Zara, but to anyone else, it sounds basically like a lion meowing. I mean, a leopard meowing, or growling or whatever.
It's the end for you rats!
Let's help her.
Oh, it's you. Stay out from under my feet or I'll strike you down.
Zara says, well, I'll be happy to stay out from under your feet. Although I will tell you it would not be difficult, as I can hear them coming from 3 leagues away. Amari takes no notice in a complete barbarian rage and goes running, screaming, bloodied sword through the next door.
Barbarians?
I think that's exactly how heroes should be.
What, stupid, sweaty, and always looking for something to gobble up or lop the head off of? Calistria, save me from such heroes.
Bracken ignores this and growls low to indicate that he hears noise around the corner. This is your last chance. Drop your weapons. So generous. I'm afraid I can't offer you the same courtesy. What in heck's name is that? And those were the last words he spoke. There's a frost troll here. Zara, who is not afraid of much, finds herself feeling a little bit queasy at the thought of taking down a frost troll. But it does not stop her from venturing forward. Zara looks down the hallway past this tall and imposing woman. There are 2 dead bodies behind her, and the woman herself looks not even remotely out of breath.
And just how did they all end up dead while you don't seem to have a scratch?
I'll answer but briefly and just once. Further scares and explanations will wait until we aren't being hunted by a group of assassins. Deal? All right. I'm undead. These traps are deadly to the living, but they're harmless to me.
What do you mean, undead? Really? Like zombies or skeletons or...
Zara stands back, involuntarily. The undead, they're so unnatural. Bracken gives a low and menacing growl in his throat.
As I said, further explanations will wait until later. All you need to know right now is that we're on the same side, and we have to fight off a small army of hired assassins. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it then. That brings another person into our party here. This is Jathal.
I see something.
Lindsay calls out, "Hold! There's a trap!" Lindsay gives Zara an amused smile, and she says, "Let me take care of it." Moving quickly and silently down the hallway, Lindsay disarms all of the traps, while Zara grumbles a bit to herself, more with
So they
embarrassment
walked on.
than anything else. Lindsay says, "I think it's safe," and the party continues on. Coming around the corner, Jathal says, "There's someone up ahead." Bracken moves forward. "What are you dallying for?" "I'm telling you," he kicks the door. "Jumandi's cachet has to be here somewhere. Cash, well, hurry it up before someone's coming!" And wow, he just dived right into battle. Tartusio crits, and those bandits are no more. But we do have an empty room. We're going to split up the party at this point. Opening this door, Zara's going to head into here. She calls out, "There are 2 statues in here, with swords raised or lowered. Bracken, check the other room." Bracken pads over with the rest of the party to the other room. Opens the door. He calls. And Zara hears, "It is the same here."
Speak.
Jathal goes over and says, "That bandit was talking about some sort of cache. I bet this is a puzzle. And the solution to this puzzle is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 6. And then 5. "Oh," says Bracken. And Lindsay says, "There's a stash behind this wall." She walks in, and we are going to clean the place out and offer it to the Swordlord, in all seriousness, because that is what Zara would do. Lindsay says, "I wonder if there's another one." Her keen perception allows her to walk right up to this tapestry and say, "I will bet this one opens another." After some trial and error, we are going to interact with statues 1 and 6. We'll have Tartusio, who's standing next to number 1, and then we'll have Jathal open number 6. Lindsay says, "It worked! It worked!" And so they walked on. They walked on in and looted.
It is done.
So that is the puzzle solution to the statue room in Jamandi's, the Swordlord's castle. If you ever decide to play this, there you go. And by the way, I got that on my first try. "Enemies ahead!" shouts Jathal in a low, hissing voice.
Unworthy.
Simple. That's how it's done.
Everything is so much fun with a little fire. What a night, huh? I thought I was all alone. It's good you're here. bit boring, chasing fool assassins without anyone watching the show.
Zara mentions, it does seem that you tend to pop up repeatedly in the most unexpected places. We could use your help, she calls.
It's not fun at all. Many people have died for nothing.
Zara glances back over her shoulder at Lindsay. Kessie, I think her name is, doesn't seem to care. The sound makes Zara curious. She says, "You sound like a Kelishite, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?"
Of course. I'm from Kadira. But tales of hot deserts and shady oases can wait until the fighting's finished. But if you'd like to share a dinner and pleasant conversation, just say the word. I like making new friends.
Well, if you like making new friends, I don't believe we have met. Now is not really the time for introductions, but you are? Tell me quickly.
I am Kayesi, one of the many here who seek a better fate, answering the call of Lady Jamandi. But unlike the others, I never dropped my guard, day or night. It's why I'm still alive.
Well, like I said, we could use your hand. There are assassins on the prowl. We must hurry.
I don't know where you're headed, but I'll be at the entrance to the main hall. I think I saw some guards there. Join me there, if you wish.
Zara lifts a hand and says, "Wait, But she's gone. Says Bracken. And Zara says, "You're right. She is a slippery one. A very slippery character. Always ready to bandy words, but not ready to... Wait, what is that?" She hears the voice of a man, a dwarf, lying on the floor, calling out to his god to take his soul. Zara walks over and offers his hand. "Here, let me help you."
I'll make my own legend.
Grotus, I can sense your silhouette hovering over me. It won't be much longer. Soon we shall meet, O Lord of Oblivion.
Lindsay murmurs, "It's the one who was always so afraid of death or talking about it all the time. I don't even think he's really injured," she says. Zara says, "This should help." She plucks a healing potion off of his jacket and uncorks it, pouring a bit gently into his mouth, corking it and putting it back in his hand.
Too late. Forgive me. Oblivion is calling.
"There's nothing to forgive except that you seem to be very well. In fact, not a scratch on you. What is wrong with you?"
I'm dying. I knew this expedition was doomed. Oh, Grotus, my vision darkens.
Zara sighs, crosses her arms, and says, "It has been my unfortunate lot in life to see more than a few die and pass on through the realm. You look very hale and hearty for one who is about to pass through the clouds. Aren't you being a bit premature? Look at yourself. You've barely a scratch."
That's impossible. Oh, it seems you might be right.
"Stand up, please. We need your help. These theatrics will help no one."
It seems I will live. I suppose I must postpone meeting my god, not for long, I'm sure. But while we remain in this transient world, Arim is at your service.
"Thank you. If you could do your best not to die before we get to the Swordlord, that would be appreciated." And then suddenly, a little laugh comes out of her. The situation with the dwarf on the ground looked so ridiculous that she couldn't help but have a bit of merriment, even at his expense. And now Harem joins us. Looking around for any other signs, they soon see that this door has been barred by falling rubble. That leaves only this way out. They hear voices talking and yet again see the tiefling.
You, run and get an axe. You, bring more water. You, stay here and hold our defense. Those assassins are still around here somewhere.
Zara tries to recall his name. Garrus or something. Yes. Keston Garrus. You there, she calls out. We have help. Where can we be of most use?
Aha! Some of our guests survived. Good. You need to get to the banquet hall and help Lady Jamandi.
We will do so. And suddenly the tiefling says, Who are you?
Keston, House Garrus, a fighter in the service of Swordlord Jamandi Aldori. Right now, I'm in charge of the mansion guards. As you can see, there's a lot to do.
There is.
If I were a rich and influential lady like Jamandi, I'd also get myself a manly captain of the guard. Or two.
Zara, suddenly frustrated and overwhelmed, says, Now is not the time for such frivolities. Could you please keep your mind on the matters at hand? Speaking of which, what is going on here? We see the rubble over there by the door.
Someone opened the gate, let in a group of assassins in the middle of the night. Now they've set the mansion on fire to cut off access to the hall. They don't want Lady Jamandi to get reinforcements. We cleared the passage so you can get through. Just try to avoid inhaling the smoke. We'll be right behind you. We just need to put out the fire first to save the mansion.
Considering Lady Jamandi's fate, I'm not surprised that a whole pack of assassins were unleashed on her, including a giant. But what's at stake? What could anyone hope to gain?
Zara ignores her words and says, Let us help you. If we put out the fire together, then we can all go and join Lady Jamandi and take part in the defense.
No, we'll manage. I've got my best people here, those who still live. Your place is by Lady Aldori's side.
If you insist. She did hire us.
It doesn't seem right. What if some of the guards are wounded? We need to help them.
I agree. In my beliefs, she doesn't want to say the word coven, as she doesn't want to ever mention that she, of her secret coven. She says, we do not leave the wounded behind. Bracken growls and rubs his head gently on Zara's leg. Fine, then, she says, where's the hall? Point me to the way.
You'll have to run through the fire. We've almost put it out at the entrance, so your main concern should be to not inhale any smoke. Hold your breath and take the first right, then head straight down the hallway.
We will go immediately, and hope soon that you will follow, and all of your men.
Fire doesn't frighten me, thanks to hell's blood running in my veins. I'll go ahead and wait for you on the other side. Catch up!
Bracken shakes his head, his furry, large head, in consternation.
May Abadar keep you safe.
We are now going to go through the fire. Let's F5 to quick save here. And Zara rips off a piece of the bottom of her tunic. She ties it around her nose and mouth. She says, "Stay close, my friend," to Bracken, and scratches the back of his neck. And then she says, "With me." Gorm says, "Follow me," and they walk in to the fire. Covering their noses and mouths, they rushed inside. As they entered, the wall behind them slanted and crashed down with a terrible cracking sound, blocking the way back. Harem uses his thick, stout arm and club and says, "Follow me!" Hot air burned their lungs. Zara led them through the flames, following Harim. Tartusio, she could not help but note, did nothing useful at all. Finally, Valerie, one of the guards that, in fact, Zara remembered seeing in the banquet hall, came out through the smoke like an apparition. She looked like a celestial avenger, an armored deity, menacing but beautiful and merciful, descending from the higher spheres to help us poor mortals. For a moment, Zara is stunned, and then she comes back to herself. "There are 2 more!" as Valerie shouts into her ear. "They are wounded. Help me pull them out." Without thinking, Zara rushed to save the guards from the fire. Saving the poor fellows was harder than it seemed. And there was a growl from Bracken as he is injured, and suddenly Zara reaches out to him. We did manage to pull the 2 wounded soldiers to help. But we did take a bit of damage. Bracken did as well. Ensuring the guards were rescued and were relatively safe, we made our way to the hall, coughing and gasping for air. So, a little bit of damage was taken by the party. They did not come out of that unscathed. Valerie now joins us, and we can see her here. There are sounds of fighting coming from the other side of the thick wooden door. Valerie says, "This is the way." Battle has ensued, and yet again she sees Cassie, who says, "Hurry, hurry!" And we are now engaged in battle. So Lindsay here, what we're going to do, because this is a surprise round, if I believe, and I'm actually going to check that. So hold on one second. So what I'm looking at right now, as you can see on screen, is an explanation of how this mod works a little bit, the circles that we're seeing. And this yellow circle indicates that this is a lose dexterity armor class. And I don't know enough about Pathfinder to know what that means just yet. I think it means that you can't do a full attack, but I could be wrong about that. And then this red here means a surprise round. So as I learn about Pathfinder, I'm hoping that those of you guys watching will help me learn what this means and how I can use it in combat to move my characters. We're going to use her Inspire Courage. She can now do a move action as well too, and I'm going to have her move to here. That will end her turn, and she's now ready to lay waste to the battlefield. Next up is Jathal, and she's going to charge here. We can see that Lindsay is also going to be attacking this assassin automatically. This is who she's currently targeting, is what that means. And with one fell swoop of her grim blade, the enemy is down. We are going to end her turn, and Harim says, "Save some for me, by the might of Grothis!" And he falls into battle. Well, he sort of runs and sort of yells into battle. I think the best thing for him is to just head in here and aim for this guy.
Repent!
Down he goes. No problem. The next one up is Bracken. We will attack this guy here. So I'm not sure if maybe Bracken can't sneak. I'm not sure. So we'll learn that as we go. Oh, not only there's a dragon and a troll that Jamandi has just taken down. Or some sort of gargoyle or something? No, a manticore. Wow. Okay, let's go back to Zara over here. And Zara is going to do what she does best. She's going to attack this assassin because he is currently being attacked, so this might count as a flanking shot. And she misses because she really sucks with the bow right now. Ooh, that was some very nasty damage to Lindsay. I don't like that. So Valerie is here, and Valerie can also do... She cannot do a charge because the enemy... There's no enemy within the amount of feet she can charge. So she is going to fight defensively. We're going to turn that on. And she's going to make a move to here. Take one move action. And then I think she can still attack him. Well, she can in the next turn. Ouch. Ouch. They're really targeting Lindsay, so I'm not appreciating this at all. Tartusio, I think it's time for you to get in here and really take care of business. Tartusio, I'm going to bring you right up here, right in front. And because, you know, I don't really care if you die, to be absolutely honest. And we're going to lay some burning hands on. So that means he won't be able to do it in this turn, but he will be able to come up here to about here. Actually, I'm going to move him here. Just to one turn here, and then do an attack on him. And then in the next turn, I'll have him move in for a burning hands. Okay. There we go. And... we got that mirror image. We definitely want to take care of that mirror image. Lindsay is up next. She's doing Inspire Courage, but I want to cast a Daze on this assassin leader. It did not. He survived or succeeded his will saving throw, so it did nothing. But she can still, I believe, she can take a move action. And I'm thinking she might want to move to just behind here so that she's a little bit less likely to get hit. We're going to end her turn. Jathal is up next, and Jathal is going to... How high is her acrobat? She might be able to move here without taking an attack of opportunity. Yes. And then 7 on that one there. In turn. Harim is going to take on this guy here, so that he and Bracken are flanking. So Harim,
your life ebbs low.
Just come here and hit him. Down he goes. Don't even need to worry about flanking. And Bracken is now going to do what he does best. We're going to move to right here so that he will be flanking with the assassin with Jathal. Moving to this spot here, and then aiming on this guy here. He won't be able to attack right now. Okay, we definitely want to get these rift channelers too. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't like it. Zara is... Where is Zara? She's still back here quite a ways because she's got a longbow. So we're going to go for the assassin leader. And we missed him again because we're just kind of sucking. We're going to take a 5 feet step and actually move her a little bit closer. And then, oh, we actually have a move action. We can move a little bit more. Nope, that's as far as we can go. Okay. So since Valerie pretty much can't move, I'm not sure how to help her. I feel really stupid. I did not have Valerie selected, and that's why she couldn't move.
Do not
falter. Let's see if we can do something with her now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that was it. I feel pretty dumb now. I'm gonna have to admit. All right. So, Valerie, Tartusio. So let's see if we can be a little bit smarter with Tartusio. And assassin leader, assassin bowman. What I wanted to do was I wanted to move Tartusio to here. Just there, because we're going to do a Burning Hands. And position it. Oh, that's going to actually hurt one of our companions. So we don't want that. Did you actually do Burning Hands? Did I just misclick? Did it go off? I don't know. Okay, I think I misclicked. That's bad. Alright, we're going to end that turn there. That Manticore, woo! Okay, that guy hits hard. He just did a lot, but Jathal just did 8 damage to him, so that's awesome. She made an attack of opportunity, so that's really good. Lindsay is here. Everybody is still buffed up with her spell here, with her Inspire Courage. So let's continue to work on this assassin leader and take him down. Although I'm wondering if Lindsay... And that's a miss. Very, 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 very depressing. Bracken, could you show Lindsay how it's done, please? Thanks.
Despicable.
Oh, that was Jathal. Oops. It would really help if I knew which people I had highlighted at the time. Harim.
Become as dust.
He is going down. He's flanked by 3 different characters. Now, Bracken, show him how it's done. This guy here, full round action, melee weapon, coup de grace to a helpless opponent. I don't think I can use this on anyone. Yeah, nobody's helpless. So, Bracken, just kill him. And he turns around and does another hit. He's so great with his claws and his 2 front toofuses. Okay, Rift Channeler, Zara's turn again. And Harim, Assassin Bowman. Zara, I think you should move up. Take 1 move. Can you take 1 move to there? Can you still attack here? You should be able to. Yes! Finally, Zara gets a hit. Beautiful. Valerie is very angry at this point, but she's steely with her determination. And she is going to do an attack right here on this guy and misses because she's not good at attacking. She's better at tanking. And Tartusio is going to do a magic missile to start taking down these Rift Channelers. A little bit of damage, not too much, but hey. Tartusio can also do a move action as well too, but there's... I have a couple more Burning Hands, so let's set ourselves up for that by moving over here so that we can do it on these 2 guys maybe next time. Okay, and let's end turn here. Amari comes in, that Manticore is wrecking face, and Jamandi is doing her best. But she's taken some serious damage. That Manticore is not to play with. Lindsay, why don't you start working on this Rift Channeler?
You deserve it.
Ha ha! And by working on, I mean exploding into bits. Thank you very much for playing, Lindsay. Over here is the Assassin Bowman. Jathal is right. It's her turn, so let's do... Can we do another charge? Yeah, we can. Ha ha! Good night, sweetheart. And next up is Harim. I'm gonna do... He cannot... Can you do Touch of Chaos? Within touch range. Oh, okay, so this is touch range for you? That's good to know. Awesome. That's a neat little trick. Okay, I'm glad to know. Those circles really help me in understanding. And I don't think he can attack, but he can move closer for the next attack, and then if this guy tries anything, he's going to get an attack of opportunity if he tries to move away from this at all. Which he might, because he's a channeler and not really a melee opponent. Next up is Bracken. Bracken's just going to go in there and wreck face like he does. And this guy is now tripped. He's still alive, but he's prone, so the minute he gets up, he's going to die. He is going to die. Like that. And, Jamandi Aldori is a very powerful woman. No doubt about that.
Thank you for your valor and bravery. The enemy was strong, but you were stronger, and that means I made the right choice. Just as I thought, there were worthy leaders among you. I'm especially grateful to them for the courage and common sense they showed while defending the mansion. But this attack means we have even less time than I thought. Someone already knows of our plans and is acting against us. You'll begin your expedition immediately.
Zara nods, leaning a little bit on Bracken for support, feeling rather tired.
Lady Aldori, please, I know who arranged this attack. The vile king of Pitax, Iroveti. What's more, I know who among us works for him. Hey, you! Show everyone the ring you're wearing. You think I wouldn't recognize Iroveti's seal? That's why she wasn't killed. The bandits recognized her as one of their own by this signet ring.
You mean... And she fishes into her pocket, deep down in her tunic, and pulls out the shiny gold ring. You mean this ring? Zara says. The one that you gave me, Tartusio. I do recall that you mentioned that you didn't want that stupid girl Lindsay to fall into it. Lindsay goes, "Ah!" Yes, he did, Lindsay. She turns and looks directly at Lindsay. And with those words, I knew that he was no companion of mine. As it is obvious to me, Lindsay, that you are good-hearted and walk lightly upon the earth. A high compliment. But you, Tartusio, you stomp and you belittle and you yell. Like a little flying gnat. Take your ring! She throws it onto the ground.
Such a gambit would be typical of Iroveti and his henchmen. And yet, it still seems suspicious. There's definitely a spy among us. But who? All I have is one word against another. I'm afraid you're both under suspicion.
They both came to your aid, Lady Jamandi. But a liar's cunning knows no bounds. I've never met these two or their companions. For all I know, they're all conspiring spies.
Zara looks over at Kessie and says, I have noticed that you are very good at appearing and disappearing at will, being only where it is convenient for you to be, a useful skill in subterfuge. I am here speaking the truth, honest. It is not known among my kind, and everyone assumes that she is speaking of elven kind, but no, she is speaking of the Fae sister kind. It is not known among my kind to be dishonest, for we know that we will soon have to face the road again, and the path to truth is always clear.
How could you say that? We fought together. We literally went through fire together. And then you vanished into thin air, after you promised you'd wait.
I cannot help but to agree with Lindsay here. You did, as I said, she says so eloquently, with her bard's tongue, vanish into thin air, did you not?
My words might be rash.
And Bracken growls, low under his breath, they might be.
I bet my life the spy's anyone but this woman. I saw how she dealt with those creeps with my own eyes. A true warrior. I'd go with her through hell and high water. This purple crook, on the other hand. He's got the eyes of a spy. And the mug of a spy!
Zara steps gently back from the mess that Amiri just placed on the floor.
Lady Aldori, don't listen to this thick-headed barbarian. She doesn't know what she's talking about. During the attack, our leader showed her true colors. She forced us to break into the armory and rob it.
Why do you tell such lies from that forked tongue of yours? Lady Aldori, forgive me my trespass. I did not break into anything. The door was wide open. Oh, no, I am wrong. Lindsay shuffles her feet and looks, blushes and says, It was locked. Ah, well, nevertheless, we meant no harm. And all of the weapons and potions that we have gathered, we will place here before you. I have kept them all. In my defense, though, we were in the middle of a battle and in dire need of weapons.
An attack is no reason to break into rooms in someone else's house and pocket their property.
Well, Zara says, if you so wish that we would have fought with our bare hands, then so be it.
That was a sound decision. Sometimes one must act at one's own risk and peril until crossing the boundaries of what is allowed. Showing initiative is no crime.
Thank you, Sir Valerie.
It is insane when faced with death to stop and question whether you may be breaking some law or rule. Even more insane would be to ask forgiveness for making the right decision. Sorry, but your words display a lack of wisdom.
Zara has nothing to say about that. There's a part of her that wonders if he might be right.
What about that trick she pulled right before we came in here?
What are you on about now?
She knew very well you were fighting the enemy, but instead of rushing to help you, she dallied as long as she could, dropping everything to save people from the fire, even though the guards were handling things just fine. She was obviously hoping to show up too late and find you already dead.
If there are people dying right in front of me, I cannot walk by. Unless I have proof that they have deserved the foul deeds befalling them. It is not my nature.
Really, Tartuccio? You're seriously trying to blame someone for saving people from a fire?
May Shellen spare me from ever having to make such a choice, but she behaved decently, as a true leader.
A true leader is someone who has their priorities straight, not someone who would put a valuable ally's life in danger for the sake of some servant.
Your disdain drips from you. I wonder why it hasn't not yet puddled by your feet.
Enough squabbling. I'm still not sure which of you I can trust. However, the risk of entrusting the whole affair to a spy is too great. Here's what we'll do. 2 teams will head out. That way, I'll know at least one group can be counted on to serve my interests in the stolen lands.
Lady Aldori, most of those who were to set off for the stolen lands have been killed. Those who yet live will require help. Please allow me to join the expedition.
I'm sad to lose such a talented warrior. But you're right, Valerie. They have greater need of you right now. Go, and may Abadar keep you. Which of the 2 teams would you prefer to accompany?
If my leader allows, I would join her team. She seems a worthy commander in my eyes.
Zara smiles nervously, backing away. I am no leader. At least not in this way. But I believe we can all travel together and lead ourselves.
Commanders, military leaders, all these laws and rules are but dust and vanity. I suppose I will accompany Tartuccio.
Our leader is good in battle, but I don't like all the spiritual agonizing. I prefer those who can act without wasting time helping every little pipsqueak. Those like Tartuccio.
I think you 2 will be very happy together, says Zara, a bit icily.
Ugh, Tartuccio's going to take the credit for himself and be done with it. Shellen, spare me from such allies. I'm going with you. You're a hero worthy of my quill.
I think we all of us in our party will be heroes. If you insist on writing down every step we take.
As for me, I know neither of these 2. At least not well enough. And I have no wish to become an unwitting pawn to an unworthy leader. If Lady Jamandi allows, I'll remain in Restov and help mend the wounds this attack has inflicted. But who knows? The road may bring me to the stolen lands, but not yet.
Zara looks at Cassie with great distrust.
I don't even even need to think. I'm coming with this woman. As for you, Purple Toad, just wait until we meet along the way. I'll be sure to hang your rotten spy guts from the trees.
And Bracken growls with approval. A low rumble in his throat.
All right, we have 2 teams. To avoid unnecessary conflict on the road, you'll each take a different route to the Stolen Lands. Tartuccio's team will go through Navacta's crossing. The garrison commandant will provide him all the help he needs. You will take your team to Oleg Leviton's trading post. He's been complaining about the Stag Lord's bandits for a while now. There, you'll be provided with all the necessary travel supplies.
Swordlord Aldori offers each group camping supplies and enough rations for 4 people, as well as, rather ominously, a signed scroll of Raised Dead. Zara passes the camping supplies and rations around her group, and then offers the signed scroll of Raised Dead to Lindsay to hold. You can be the keeper of our scrolls, Lindsay.
I'd like to believe you, but I know all too well how convincing traitors and spies can be. If you're truly innocent, I hope you can forgive me this precaution.
Zara says, not only is my own quest to care for the land, but also, as any good druid would, but it is also to keep a stout heart in times of trouble. The trees do not bend, and neither do I, Swordlord.
While you're away, Keston will investigate the night's events and learn who in Restov is working for Patax. But you should know that it isn't just Patax we need to worry about. The Royal House of Sertova may also interfere in our plans. I've managed to keep this affair a secret from them so far, but that can't last long. By my estimations, you have no more than 3 months. After that, any feats you accomplish will be pointless. And now, farewell. This battle was but the first ordeal along your path, and you overcame it as true champions of Restov. May the obstacles that follow also fall to your feet. Fear nothing, my friends, and return victorious.
There is a cheer, some weary, some eager, that ripples over the crowd.